Hello, hello, and welcome to today's live level up conversation. Whether you're tuning in live or catching me on replay, I am thrilled to have you here. Welcome to the show, and I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. Welcome. Let's jump right in today's live level up discussion.
Welcome to Level Up with Winnie Sun. Market update. Speed round. Award-winning financial pro. And now, get ready. I present to you Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Hi, friends. I'm Winnie Sun, an award-winning financial pro, your host, Forbes contributor, and a CNBC council member. I'm thrilled to be joining you live here. We're on several social media platforms, so don't be shy. Jump in, say hello. I would love to see how your weekend has been. Of course, we just celebrated Thanksgiving here in the United States, or wherever you're joining me from. Let me know how you are doing as we go into what we are at right now, the last week of November and going into December. Can you believe the days, the hours are flying so fast? Well, I see so many friends joining us. Hello, Robin. Hello, Megan. Joshua, I see you there as well. Chris, yes. Yu Sung, thank you so much for being here. It is a treat to have you with us here live. And if you're joining me on replay, thanks so much for tuning in as well. Now, let's start off as we normally do. And I love it because we are in the last week of November, as I mentioned, and the markets has given us something to cheer about this month for sure. The Dow is currently up 98 points. NASDAQ is up 16, and the S&P 500 is also in the positive up 2. It wasn't actually the case. It was actually, we saw some negative numbers just moments ago. But as we go into the last hour here before the market close, let's hope this continues. Of course, earlier today, the market did take a slight breather, but we think things will get better. I think we're going to have a very, very good month end this week as well. Now, investors continue to be quite hopeful that the Fed may continue to delay rate hikes, but most importantly, now people are really paying attention to the potential of rate cuts. Interest rates kept going up, but now they actually might go the reverse. And so you're seeing the stock market sort of react negatively earlier with concern and now positively. That's just the way it goes. Sometimes people are also doing a lot of bottom fishing. We're also hearing about people not only doing their Black Friday and their Cyber Monday shopping, but they're also looking at opportunities to get into the stock market as well. Wall Street continues to be quite optimistic after 4 consecutive weeks of gains. We're seeing more positivity today. So let's hope this week continues that trend. November is actually currently shaping to be a standout month for the stock market. In fact, the VIX, which is a fear gauge, has also hit its lowest level since January of 2020. That's even pre-pandemic, which reflects ongoing confidence of you and I, the investing population. And of course, PCE inflation data is due this Thursday, and that could really either, slow down the rally that we've been seeing, or it could improve. We'll see how the inflation data comes out. But one thing that has certainly been meaningful for many businesses across the globe, and especially here in the United States, has been Black Friday. Black Friday was huge. Now, you may have participated in this, and if you do, I want you to get real. Put it in comments. Did you buy anything for Black Friday? What was it? Did you feel like it was of value to you? Was it a need versus want? Don't be shy. Let us know how what you did. So, and Joshua, yes, tell me how you are doing, and of course, let me know if you did any shopping last week as well. So Black Friday was the weekend shopping break. Get this. Black Friday was so huge. This is like the records have been broken, with 200 plus million shoppers from Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday. In fact, online shopping has jumped all the way to $134.2 million, while in-store shoppers still were pretty strong at $121 million. So yes, I thought you might find that interesting. Online shopping has definitely dominated in-person shopping. It wasn't just like a trend or something that we saw happening. It's full on. People do prefer to shop at home in the convenience and just wait for things to show up on a doorstep, I guess. Shoppers spent an average of $321 and a little bit of change on holiday related purchases. This sort of does kind of a similarity to last year. But let me ask you that. Is that number bigger or lower than what you spent for your household this year? In fact, many people say that consumer sentiment has been really positive. In fact, a lot of attractive deals. And just they're saying also because the weather was good. And so good weather makes people want to shop more. I guess that's what they're saying. In fact, some of the top gifts people are buying for are including, no surprise here, clothing, once again, right? Accessories, toys, of course, holidays, and personal care items, which really marks sort of a shift in consumer preferences. But as of Thanksgiving weekend, shoppers were halfway through their holiday shopping. This is according to a recent survey. Now, although online sales were very, very popular, Black Friday reached a 9.8 billion, Cyber Monday hitting 12.4 billion here in the United States. But the shopping isn't expected to be done. In fact, Adobe's data they have this report they come out with every holiday season on online sales. In-store purchases still seem to dominate holiday spending, even though we're seeing very obviously that more people buy more online just because of convenience of it. But in-store is still very much popular. Um, but yes, we're going into the end of the year. So I'm curious for those of you who are joining in, how much did you spend? And do you still have more shopping to do? I will say in my household, we made a list, right? Obviously, we made a list of things that we absolutely had to buy. Like, for example, I bought more vitamins for the kids, bought some socks, bought some of the things that we really, really needed, and really tried to stay very careful on our shopping. We did a lot of research and just made sure that we were getting good, reasonable deals and not overspending because, don't none of us really need more stuff, right? Some of us might, but yeah, our budget these days definitely going towards groceries in a big way. All right. So, my next story that I am excited to share with all of you is something called Q. And I laugh about that because my son was in a robotics team not that long ago. And one of the big engineers on their team, his name was Q. Well, Amazon has a new chatbot named Q, which is unveiled in Amazon Web Services reInvent conference that they had recently. Q is actually Amazon's response to Microsoft and Google and the productivity software space. Now, this is kind of cool. The chatbot actually is designed to help users like you and I understand the Amazon AWS capabilities and some of the different communication apps, sort of like Slack, text, editing applications like communications. It can also be utilized with AWS's online management console, but this sort of chatbot offers the capability to automatically modify source code, streamlining a lot of the developer tasks and just making things a lot more integrated with a lot of enterprise systems, which actually includes Microsoft 365, Salesforce, Dropbox, stuff like that, and even their AWS's S3 data storage service. This will actually allow users to upload documents, and with that, upload a document, seek information while interacting with Q. And I think this is really interesting because just goes to show you that all these different companies that we might think of as Amazon, really powerhouse in the retail space, right? Consumer space and shopping and whatnot. But everybody is trying to make things faster and more efficient and just utilize this very unique smart technology of isn't just AI, but it's chatbots too. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. We'll see how that continues to unfold, but that is a story we're definitely like because if we can decrease the time to adjust code, hopefully that also means a better user experience, not only for us, the end user as a consumer, but also, of course, the employee base and the employees that work at Amazon as well. And I got more on Amazon, but I'll be with you on that in just a second, because what I also wanted to talk to you about is something that is kind of time sensitive, if you will. Now, for many of you, I'm sure you have a stagnant Google account, or at least you have a Google account. Maybe you have a Gmail account, or something that you use on a daily, but maybe you set up another account that maybe this will be your the throwaway email address, right? Or maybe just something you haven't used in a while, but you still find value in that. Well, if that's the case, you gotta want to make sure you're on this, because if you have a stagnant Google account, it may be time for you to log into it this week, because Google is set to delete inactive accounts that have been untouched for over 2 years. Now, Google's decision is driven, of course, by security concerns, as these older accounts are really more likely to be used using recycled passwords, and they really lack up-to-date security measures. I'm going to just put this out there because I think this is important. If you have elderly parents, or if you had someone in your family pass away, or who isn't active on their accounts anymore, but there might be value or information in that account that you still need, this is something that you'll really want to pay attention to, because people have been given multiple warnings that have been sent to affected users since August, both through account alerts and, of course, backup emails. But these accounts are going to start being deleted pretty soon. And those who were created but never revisited by the users, those will get deleted first. But Google's plan is, of course, to protect private information and to prevent unauthorized access in inactive accounts. And I'm sure this is just taking space up for them as well. So it kind of makes things more lean. New Year's coming, let's get rid of some of the old accounts, right? So this move is going to affect many Google services. This is going to include obviously Gmail, Google Docs, Drive, and Photos. So if you have any of those on an account you haven't checked in 2 years, not to worry. That's all you have to do. You just have to log in, you know, have some activity, and make sure you do that. You continue to log in at least every 2 years, and that way you can currently retain your account. Now, of course, I'm sure that's going to change in the future if like you only log in once every 2 years. But for now, that's what we know, and that's what we are sharing with you today. So if you have an account like that, or if elderly family members, probably a great time to check in with them, especially since it's around the holidays, and just make sure not only are they okay, but also their technology is okay as well. All right, so here's the next story that I want to share with you. And this is coming next week, too, so sort of timely as well. And this is Giving Tuesday. Now, Giving Tuesday, as you know, this is a big thing. Charitable giving on Giving Tuesday last year reached over $3 billion. And in fact, a 15% increase from the previous year, according to Giving Tuesdays themselves. Now, more than likely, they're expected to be a big amount of charitable contributions next Tuesday as well. But you might be wondering, what is the best way to give to make sure that you benefit tax wise for your charitable contribution? Well, when tax incentives are, maybe not the primary motivation for you giving, and that's great, changes in tax laws have made it actually a lot more challenging to claim deductions for your charitable contributions. So I want to talk to you about that a little bit. Now, when you file your taxes, you're going to have to be able to choose, of course, between the typical standard deduction and the itemized deductions, which then includes things like charitable donations and medical expenses and things like that. Well, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2018 nearly doubled the standard deduction, which led to fewer people filing as, using the itemized deduction way. However, there have been tax friendly strategies that could still help you with your charitable giving, which include, for example, something called a qualified charitable distribution. Okay. Now, this is for individuals who are age 70 and a half or older. So maybe not you, but maybe a grandparent or somebody that maybe a neighbor. There's also something called donor advised funds. Now, this does offer you upfront deductions and flexibility for future giving. Now, I've actually worked with people who engaged in this route and decide to go with this route. If you decide that you want to look into something like this, I would definitely recommend number one, that you do your research, and number two, speak with someone who has experience in doing so before going this direction as well. Okay. And then there's other ways you can donate profitable assets like stock, like real estate, like a car, things like that, to avoid capital gains tax and potentially deduct the full market value. And you can also bunch your donations together by combining gifts into a single year to exceed the standard deduction. Now, this is really useful, especially for people who have donor advised funds. So, these are just some of the different strategies. If you're going to be giving, and you're going to be giving big next Tuesday, I would just suggest that you speak with your tax advisor, CPA, or an accountant before doing so. That would be a great excuse to say hello around the holidays, and also making sure that the way that you give, that you get to not only, do what's right and help others the way that you would want to, but also if you are looking to get that tax benefit, that all your record keeping and the ways and strategies that you do are most beneficial to you as well. So that is my 2 cents on that. And then speaking of taxes, did you or had or someone did you sell Taylor Swift or other tickets at a profit? Because this is I think not everybody knows this, but did you know you might actually have to pay the IRS for this? That's right. Because the IRS had delayed tax reporting change that they made for third-party payment apps such as Venmo, PayPal, and even Ticketmaster. Now, even without the 1099K forms for these smaller transactions, you actually might still owe taxes on any profits, including if you resold Taylor Swift tickets. In fact, this story sort of came about because I actually have a good friend that sold Taylor Swift tickets and sold it for a nice profit only because she wasn't able to go and she really wanted to go. It was one of those situations. But so, Form 1099, for those of you who are unfamiliar, it's a 1099K threshold for 2023 is 200 transactions exceeding $20,000 with a lower $5,000 limit for 2024, applying to, of course, 2025 tax returns. Now, if you're not sure, if you sold tickets and you made money, you should assume that you're probably going to have to pay something in taxes. If you're not sure, again, check with your accountant, check with your CPA, and just make sure. And it's always better, especially when you're not sure. I always say, if you're not sure, seek with someone who does know so that the information you get is correct. But yeah, taxable income does include profits from ticket resales. Even if it's not reported to the IRS, technically you're supposed to pay. And it's important to report income and transactions for legal compliance, regardless of which third party reporting is doing so. So just because they aren't doesn't mean that you don't need to as well. So they're saying that there are ways to prepare for reporting ticket profits at tax time, which is, of course, to make sure that you maintain accurate records, including your purchase receipts minus your sales receipts if you did it through one of these programs. And of course, keep track of sales transactions, especially if you're using apps like PayPal or Venmo or something like that. And you'll want to make sure that you plan ahead by making sure that you have a bit of money saved for the taxes for that sale. So, this many articles I've been reading have also recommended even considering a separate bank account just for keeping track of these small business activities if you're doing this more than once, right? If you're selling tickets often, you probably just want to make sure you have a separate account to keep track of that. If you're only doing one off, I don't think that that's necessary, but again, talk to your tax accountant. I'm sure they'll give you lots of value for that. And thank you so much. I see so many friends. Sophia, Grace, it's wonderful to see all of you, and thanks so much for being here. But with that, let's check into the market because we still got about 45 minutes left to go. The Dow's currently up 82 points. Nasdaq's up 5, still that's good, but S&P 500 has gone down into negative territory now. Not even down 1 point though, so I think there's plenty of chance for that could come back, and hopefully it does. But with that, I want to give you a heartfelt gratitude. I'm so grateful. I hope that you had a beautiful Thanksgiving. I'm so grateful for you being here and supporting the show. And a huge thank you to Frandy. Thank you so much for being here. Crossset Spider, Joshua. Thank you so much for your comments. So, so kind of you. We are so grateful to be here with you. And of course, we have a lot more shows scheduled for this week. So you gotta stay close. I already started on some of those for tomorrow. I think tomorrow will be a fun show too. But with that, do me a favor, hit subscribe if you don't already. Hit that like button. That would help us out tremendously. And of course, if you want to find full episodes of Level Up with Winnie Sun, you can tune in to NASDAQ, Amazon Fire, Samsung, LG, Roku, and many other streaming platforms. And with that, have an amazing, amazing Tuesday. I'll see you again later this week. Take care now. Bye bye.